Hello, in this video I'm going to show you how to build a top bar or Caribbean hive. Some people call it a Tobago hive. So in your pack you'll have the biggest piece of wood, which is your plywood lid. Then you have 4 lats that are square, 2 short and 2 long for your lid. There's another 2 lats that are slightly beveled. You then have 2 ends which are rebated in a very distinct shape. 2 other boards which are for your base. 2 long, fairly narrow boards which are your sides, the walls. 1 pair of plastic runners, 1 piece of mesh, and your yellow plastic Correx. This is basically corrugated plastic. You'll also have 24 of these, the top bars themselves, and then your all-important packet of nails and pins. So in your pack you will have some 1.5" lost head wire nails, and quite simply we're going to take the end, which is the shape of the hive. So we're going to quite simply tack a nail roughly over the centre of the rebate, and the same on the other side, sort of about 1 inch or so down. Once you've done that, maybe do another couple as well. I'm just going to put a bead of glue down the side of each rebate. So we're then going to take the side which is routed out, which is the entrance, and we're going to place that there. I'm going to use my mallet as a piece of help to rest on. And I'm going to put the rebate onto the side wall like so, making sure that it's nice and level on the top. I'm going to then tack this nail in place, all the time squeezing the side wall into the rebate. I'm then going to tack 3 more nails into this side as well. I've got to do the same with the next side wall as well. Let's put that nice and flat there, level her up. Going to then punch the nails in and then repeat the process on the other side, which will be a lot more stable now because you've got both sides on. Do the same with the other side. Then we just pop this one onto these rebates, level that one up. We take some of our 1.5" lost head nails and we'll just tack this in place. I run a bead of glue down in the inside just to make sure it fills any cracks, and then wipe the excess glue off with damp tissue. And the next phase, quite simply, is to put the 2 boards on the bottom, and one of them is the alighting board which hangs over the entrance, which is this rounded out bit here. This is the alighting board that you want, which is longer than the other baseboard and it's round off at the corners. So I'm just going to take a pen and just mark on here where this comes to. Mark that where that is, because then you'll know where to put your glue to. So I'm just going to pull that back a little bit there like that, and then you can see where the entrance starts. I'm just going to mark it on here so that I know where not to put the nails between. I'm going to put the glue here on the corner. I will seal the inside as well once I've done this with glue. I'm going to start from the back so that there isn't glue all over this. I'm just going to quite simply lay that there, making sure it's in line with the end. You then take your 1.5" lost head wire nails. These are quite tricky because the nails have to follow the lines of the outside walls. It's okay on the end, that's a nice straight piece, so the nails have to angle with your wall. So I'm going to start with this end first. So next thing to do is to just make sure that it is square on the back, and I'm going to start my nail in about sort of 1 inch from the edge, tack it in at a straight angle, then I'm going to push it do that all along here. So the next job is to do the same on the front, and you've got your two marks here now, so you know roughly where the edge is. So I then know to put them either side, tack her in straight, and then I'll just pull her. So the next part is to do the same on the other side with just the baseboard. So again, I'm going to take my pen and just mark where it comes to so that I know where to put the glue to. And there, another bead of glue around the edge. This one's quite simpler because there's no entrance to avoid. Lay that on there like so, about an inch away. And I'm going to run a bead of glue all the way around from here. This just makes sure it's nice and sealed. The plywood is marine ply anyway, so it is actually waterproof. So the next job is to put the mesh in. Just equal it out and make sure that it's nice tight fit. Then you take your drawing pins and we place 5 on each side through the mesh into the ply. Like so, and we do the same on the other side. And then just going to get my hammer and tack them in. So the next stage is to fix your plastic runners on. These quite simply push up to the mesh and flush to the back of the hive. I'm going to use a spike. I'm just going to basically punch 4 holes in each runner at equal spaces, just to make it a bit easier because they're so thin. It will be awkward fixing them on. But you take your small brass escutcheon pins, which are included in your packet of nails. Where the holes are, you just poke it in there, push the runner flush with the edge, tack them in. I'm just going to punch them in the rest of the way. What remains to do now is to flip it over and do it on the opposite side. So the purpose of the runners is so that when you get your yellow plastic Corex or corrugated yellow plastic, it quite simply just slides in there. This is to basically collect mites, and also you can use it to adjust ventilation in the hive itself. For the next stage, we're going to need the 2 smaller lats with the bevel on them. So you take it with the bevel atop, highest point towards the top, and you push it in. For this I'm going to need a set square. Now I've set this to about 3/4 of an inch. It's just ever so slightly shorter, so I'm just going to tease the lat up, just run a bead of glue underneath where it's going to sit. So these are the inch lost head nails. So I'm just going to start it off on the lat and then use my square in position. So I tend to put about 5 of these in. Quite simply, we're going to do the same process on the other side. I'm just going to grab a one of the top bars, just slide it in, and this very comfortably sits below the lid surface. So the next phase is to make the lid, and to do this you're going to need the 4 square lats that we've got, the 2 short and the 2 long. Because the long lats fit over these, I'm just going to mark these out now. Just going to put a little mark there so I know where the wood comes to, and I'm going to do the same on this side. I can take my 1.5 inch lost head wire nails, and all I'm going to do is just tack these in at a 45-degree angle. And on this side, this can be a little bit fiddly. Prop them up like so, and I'm just going to put a blob of glue on there. Rest it on the other one. Put these nails in. And once that is done, I'll then put a blob of glue on the other side. Then I'm going to take my trusty punch, just punch these 2 in, like so, and then I'll do exactly the same thing on the opposite side. Just quickly going to check that it's square with this little jobby, which it pretty much is. So you take your plywood like so, and you lay your frame onto it. Now it should be around about 3/4 of an inch all the way round. So the next thing we do, once you are satisfied that there is an even distance all around your roof, you roughly mark so next run a bead of glue all the way around your lid, and then the marks that you've put, quite simply slot these into. It's never going to be 100% accurate because there will always be something that crops up. Then you need your inch lost head nails again, and you're basically going to just pin some of these around the edge while it's marked up. Then the next phase is to turn it over. We then pin it from this side as well. I take my adjustable set square, set it, get a pencil, holding it level on that edge. So that is where the edge of the lat is. The lats are nearly 1 inch in thickness, so I know that roughly there is where the lat is. Run it down a second time, so I know then where the line is to place the nails on. And I do this all the way round. I personally start off with 1 on each corner, so I take my inch lost head nail again, and I'll place it in the corner. And once you've done all that, you then have your top bars to place in. They don't need gluing or nailing. And last but not least, your lid. And there you have your completed top bar for Caribbean Hive.